Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, before we get started, I like to pray to the east. I like to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rikakwadash. And double honors to those great millstones while learned this truth. And also to those elect that is scattered abroad. I like to say, shalom. Come back here today with another great and powerful live camp through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And the title of the live camp today is A Prudent Man Foreseeth the Evil. So I like to say shalom to all our listeners and learners. Hope this will help you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. So we already knowing what's going on in the news right now. We already knowing about World War III. We knowing about how tensions is constantly rising over there in Iran. We already knowing about the Straits of Hormuz and how it will affect the economy over here in America. You know, we seeing that now that Iran is warning America about if they attack this island whereby they have their most precious oil supplies at. They're saying that they're going to hit all the rest of these bases, you know what I'm saying, in the Middle East or the Levant area. So we already know what that means for America. We're coming upon a great economic collapse. You know what I'm saying? We know we're coming upon the end of a dollar. You know what I'm saying? Or a reset. You know, this is all by design, but by design of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. So we're seeing right now we're getting closer and closer to this war constantly expanding. World War III has begun. And one thing about it, that's what we're constantly warning you about. We're seeing right now there's already rumors that the leader of Israel, the Prime Minister, Netanyahu, saying that he might have been unalive. But that's what we're trying to, you know what I'm saying? We're going to constantly measure the time diligently. But we already know that the least of the flock should draw them out, which in fact is Israel. You know what I'm saying? We already know about these small hatters, you know what I'm saying? These ish peoples. And we already know that the Lord is calling these things to happening around the world simultaneously because the Lord is gathering the nation for the controversy of Zion. That's why we already seeing now that, you know, we're seeing that the main focus now is on the Middle East or what you call the Levant area or Northern Asia. You know what I'm saying? You know, we already know right now that this devil is getting ready to come down with great wrath. We're seeing a lot of things happening in our own backyard. We're seeing about rumors of Iran sending their drones over here on the west coast of California. And then we constantly been warning you about that, telling you this about left and right. And also shalom to everyone on the comment board. Shalom, shalom, brakathah. And we seeing that right now that these things are right here are fast approaching. We're seeing right now that the prophecies are speaking loud and clear. Our salvation is at the door. We're getting closer and closer, you know what I'm saying, to this nuclear holocaust, which in fact is World War III, the last and final war before the great and glorious return of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. That's what we constantly been warning you about, left and right. You know what I'm saying? All these prophecies are speaking right now. At the end, it's just speaking, not live. We already know that we're very close to the implementation of this grain of rice, you know, this surveillance under the skin. And how about this man want total control, you know? And I got a lot of videos to bring out today, you know, to let you know that, you know, a lot of people think they're not going to be affected by it. Right now, it's sunshine today. You know, people are eating good. People are going on with their daily lives. And these things are getting ready to happen, you know, at a fast pace all of a sudden. So a lot of people are not considering the signs of the time. They're here right before our eyes. We're seeing it. Well, you know what I'm saying? Every day, you know, something is happening. Just like Elder Tahar said about, Apostle Tahar said about Great Millstone. He said that, you know, if you miss one day, you know, you don't miss the whole lot. So we see it right now. These prophecies right now are speaking loud and clear. The Lord's getting ready to do everything that He has. His word would not return to Him void. We put it like that. So we see it right now. As it is written, it shall come to pass. So that's the time that we're living in right now. We already know that this He's getting ready to come with His new agenda, which in fact is His new digital infrastructure. Digital, programmable, also surveillance under the skin. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're talking about. Implantable technology. You understand what I'm saying? That grain of rice, what you call that Neuralink, that brain computer interface. All these things are right here before our eyes. We will not be able to buy ourselves, so we're coming upon that time. We're constantly hearing rumors of a great crashing in the hills. You know what I'm saying? Which in fact a great economic collapse. They're already saying that if this Straits of Hormuz stay closed for a long period of time, it's going to cause a ripple effect throughout the global economy, especially here in America. We already know that the gas prices are constantly rising. We already know that food prices is going to rise up, and many other things is going to happen. You know, so a lot of people right now still thinking that they're a good case, but guess what? You're in for a rude awakening. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things is getting ready to happen. You know, we already know that it's going to cause an uprising, sedition. You know what I'm saying? It's going to cause what? Civil unrest, civil war. A lot of things is coming. A lack of bread, a lack of resources. That's what we constantly warn you about. So when the money go, when the food go, you know what I'm saying? It's all hell is going to break loose. That's why we constantly warn you left and right. What are you going to do when you don't have food? When you don't have water? When you don't have what? Medications. And most of these medications are made out of this, what you call these oil, which you call petroleum. You know what I'm saying? We already know about the agenda that John D. Rockefeller was pushing back in the early 1900s. So we already know that we're here. So that they made billions and trillions of dollars off those the pharmaceuticals. You know, I'm putting it like that. So we seeing right here. So we know a lot of things is going to be affected. And one thing about it, the Lord is breaking the staff of bread. Your necessity, your way of life is getting ready to change overnight. That's why we constantly warn you left, right. You know, a lot of people right now think that they're a good case because they still have a job. They still are eating good. They still is sunshine today. They're traveling, going about their daily lives. But guess what? What happened in Noah's time? They kept on doing exactly what they wanted to do until the flood came. So, but the flood, what is coming now is that thermonuclear fire. You know what I'm saying? It's second death, which in fact is the lake of fire. And what is the lake of fire? America, Babylon the Great. This place is going to get hit with so many warheads. You know what I'm saying? It's going to turn it into a lake of fire. That's what we're constantly warning. The Prudent man foresees the evil. Who is the Prudent man? Starting with the men of the Lord that's in the highways and the byways. You know what I'm saying? Constantly warning you about all these impending dangers. And also the true believers of Yahweh. That's what we constantly warn you about. Left and right. We're here. These things are right here, are right before our eyes. That's why we constantly warn you about these things. Left and right. You know, World War III, rumors of war. You know what I'm saying? Earthquakes in diverse places. We're seeing that pretty much every day. You know what I'm saying? Like on the West Coast. I think it was just about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, they had an earthquake that happened in northern northwest of Louisiana. You know, over there in the Shreveport area, it was a 4.9. You know, so things like that is going to constantly pick up. You know, so any given day, something like this can happen. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? Also, when they call peace and safety or peace and security right now, then, the total destruction will come upon you. That's what we constantly warn you about. You know, so we seeing these things are happening right before our eyes. So Lord is getting ready to bring forth that judgment like we have never seen before. And also we know that, they're crashing this economy on purpose so they can bring forth this new system, this new digital infrastructure whereby, it's going to be dealing with your biometrics. AI, robotics, these things they're constantly putting into place. We're seeing they constantly coming up with these data centers across different parts of America. You know what I'm saying? Getting these things into place because they already know that they're getting ready to crash the dollar. So your dollar is getting ready to be obsolete to what the so-called petrodollar, and all of them is in on it. We're not ignorant of Satan devices. So now let's start here first. Let's go here to Proverbs, the title of today's live camp. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 3. It says, "A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished." So one thing about it, the prudent man, the wise man, which in fact the ones that is in his knowledge, they know exactly what is going on. You know what I'm saying? The house of David, the true believers, we foresee the evil. We seeing exactly what's getting ready to happen. The Lord revealed his secrets to his servant, the prophet. So we seeing exactly how World War III is lining up. We seeing right now the Lord is constantly moving to what the Northern Army far from their borders. We're already saying that they're going to send 5,000 Marines over there. Immediately. And also, I heard rumors of another military draft. Your son and your daughters. You know what I'm saying? So we seeing that these things are constantly lining up. We're here. It's right before our eyes. Let's read it once again. It says here, Proverbs chapter 22 at verse 3 in the KJV once again. It says, "A prudent man foresees the evil and hides himself, It said, but the simple pass on and are punished. And not about how do a prudent man, which is five prudent goes into a wise man. Wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of the time. And how do he hide himself? You know, which is wisdom, this knowledge, this gospel, there will be a stronghold in times of trouble. You know what I'm saying? That's what we constantly warn you left and right. And also when you go to Proverbs chapter, I think it's 18 and verse 10, it said, you know, the name of the Lord shall be a strong tower. The righteous run into it and is safe. So that's what, you know, that's what we're going to hide. We're going to hide ourselves. And also the Lord's going to intervene on our behalf, you know. We know that, you know, we're going to have the Lord on our side, because this man going to bring all sorts of his pseudo side, his military, his technology. You know, the Lord's going to have to be with us during that time. It says in the NLT, what's going on? You doing all right? All right, all right. So now let's go here. So, you know, see people right now, you know, they're happy-go-lucky, you know, they riding their bikes. You know, everyone here, you know, they barbecuing. You know what I'm saying? They're in the house of America. Everybody having a great old time. La, 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 la. Then when all hell breaks loose, people going to be bugged out of their damn mind. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it, you know, we're seeing now that a lot of people constantly trying to require, or trying to, you know, say, hey, man, these guys, I think they own this something. You know, we are owning something. This is the truth. You know, whether you believe it or whether you will hear or whether you will forbear. Let's get this in the NLT. It said Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 3 say, a prudent man, say a prudent person foresees danger and takes precaution. The simpleton, which in fact are the two-thirds, goes blindly on and suffer the consequences. That's what's going to happen to the two-thirds and also these heathen nations. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to hear the words of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua. You know, they're not going to take heed. You know, they're going to constantly keep going on with their daily life because they think they still have time. It's not going to happen in my lifetime. That's not going to happen right now. You know, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. That's far off. You know, when you go to Ezekiel chapter 12, we probably get that too in a little bit. But, you know, these things are happening. You know, no more vain divination. These prophecies right now lining up just like clockwork. You know what I'm saying? You know, make sure we still running. We still looking good. You know what I'm saying? Someone on the comment board give me a thumbs up. We still running good. But one thing about it, though, we seeing that we're here, man. These things are right before our eyes. You know, World War III, a great economic collapse, the implementation of the RFD microchip, which in fact is the mark of the beast, Jacob's trouble. You know, these things right now is coming simultaneously. That's why the Lord said, behold, I come quickly. You know what I'm saying? That's why we got to always be watching. We got to be praying without ceasing. You know what I'm saying? You know, redeeming the time. You know, being circumspect, knowing what time that we're living in, because we're seeing that these things are constantly increasing right before our eyes. Let's read that once again. Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 3 and in the NLT, it said, a prudent person or a wise person foresees danger and take precaution. And how do we take precaution? You know, this wisdom is not being watchful, redeeming the time, being circumspect. You know what I'm saying? You know, knowing your environment, knowing the people that you're dealing with, and also we knowing that we are very close to our salvation. That's where we at right now. You know, we taking precaution. Wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of the time, your faith and your works that you have believed. The simpleton, which in fact are what the two-thirds, goes blindly on and suffer the consequence. That's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to suffer the consequence. You know, they are going to know it, death by pain. You know, when they had liberty and place of repentance was open to them, they refused it not. So the door of repentance is open right now. We are in the days of Noah right now. You know, people are eating good, they're drinking and giving into marriage, going on with their daily lives. You know, it's a lot of people, you know, are trying to make more money, you know, trying to accomplish something in this falling queendom, which in fact is America. America is going to be totally destroyed. Once we tell our people that they don't understand the scripture, they don't read the Bible, they don't know who they are, they don't know who their true power is, and also they don't know what time that we're living in. That's exactly what we constantly warn them about. They do not understand, but one thing about it, the signs of the times are here. And one thing about it, the Lord said in Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 27, he said, they shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. But when the Lord called, you did not answer. And one thing about it, you know, like I'm out here right now, you know, a lot of people might think I'm crazy. I think that, y'all, you know what I'm saying, I'm teaching hate speech, but guess what? This is the truth. He'll say, whether you believe it or not. You know, so we really don't give a damn. So they're going to suffer the consequence. You know what I'm saying? When this great destruction comes, these IBCL missiles are going to fly. We're here. Let's get this one here. Let's go to 2 Corinthians. Before we go there, let's go to Amos chapter 3. It's something I want to get out of here. Amos chapter 3 and verse 6. it says here, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord has not done it? So the trumpet's been blown, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The Lord said, blow ye the trumpet of Zion. You know what I'm saying? Whether you will hear or whether you will forbear. And the Lord, and it says here, it says, shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord has not done it? So the Lord is causing these things to happen, these calamities, these catastrophes. You know what I'm saying? These prophecies, they're constantly speaking loud and clear right before our eyes. That's where we're at right now. You know, we're living in the end time, real time. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the Lord said in Matthew chapter 24. You know, there'll be rumors of war. There'll be earthquakes in diverse places. There will be pestilence. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be false prophets shall arise. A lot of different things are coming to pass. You know, these rumors of wars are all over the place. And pretty much we see all these nations now are preparing for war against the West, which in fact is America, and also Israel. Let's read this once again. Amos chapter 3 and verse 6 said, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, a lot of people are not alarmed. A lot of people are not trying to get ready, not trying to get themselves in order. But one thing about it is that we're seeing now that these prophecies are speaking. They are lining up right before our eyes. You can't do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. So, you know, it does not really matter if, you know, if you don't believe these things is going to happen, because the Lord is in perfect control. You know what I'm saying? So we're at the end of our age. We're at the end of this earth age. We're at the end of what you call the modern day so-called white man. We're at the end of his rulership. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing right now, you know what I'm saying? The Lord is constantly exposing this man on every level. So now let's go here to 2 Corinthians. Let's go here to 2 Corinthians chapter. Let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 2. One moment. 2 Corinthians chapter 2. Let's see, one moment. Let's see here. 2 Corinthians chapter 2. Let's go back out. What's going on? You doing all right? Right. You know, so just like our people, you know, they going on with their daily lives. You know, they not, you know, they looking, you know, say, hey, you know, these things right here that's happening. Let's go here to, let me open back up the blue letter. Let me get back the blue letter back up. My tablet trying to act up a little bit, but it's all, you know, it's all through the spirit of power. Yahweh Shema Shai. Shalom, shalom to everyone on the comment board. I got a little sun. I can't really see everyone. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, brakatha, brakatha. Let's go here to 2 Corinthians chapter. Let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. Let's get that. Some pretty hot precept right here. It's been coming out a whole lot right here, because this is the time that we're living in. 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. It says here, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And everybody, we already know that the physical counterpart of Satan is the modern day so-called white man, the red man. Genesis chapter 25, the first one came out red. It said should get an advantage. So he's trying to get that advantage right now, which in fact is this new world order. You know what I'm saying? He wants total control to make you a digital programmable slave. You know what I'm saying? Also, you know, we're coming into another infrastructure. We're coming into what you call the fifth industrial revolution, whereby, you know what I'm saying, they are going to put things on you, you know what I'm saying, that new technology, we'll put it like that, whereby, you know, it's going to make you a walking device, but we're not ignorant of that. And also we seeing right now, he's slowly putting this plan into place. You know what I'm saying? So we read upon that great reset. It says here, it says, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Who is not ignorant of his devices? The one that foresees the evil, the one that see exactly what's happening right before our eyes. You know what I'm saying? His devices goes into his agenda, his plan. You know what I'm saying? This reset. You know what I'm saying? He wants total control. You know what I'm saying? We know that the dollar is getting ready to be obsolete very soon. You know, this petrodollar. You know what I'm saying? You will not be able to buy or sell if you do not take this surveillance under the skin, which in fact the RD microchip, which in fact is the mark of the beast. That's what we constantly warn you about. Revelation chapter 13, 16 through 18, the charagma. You know, so we already know that technology is here. We're seeing what's called implantable devices. So that's what they're going into, and also this 5G and 6G technology. So they're gonna get ready to make you a walking device, and also they're gonna do away with the smartphone, because you're gonna become the smartphone. That's what we constantly warn you about. Let's read this once again. In the NLT, it said, so that Satan will not outsmart us. So like, let me read that again. It says here, 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. So it says, so that Satan, which in fact the modern day, the physical counterpart of Satan is the so-called white man, it said, will not outsmart us, for we are not ignorant of his evil scheme. And which in fact is us, we foresee as the evil. We know exactly how the story is going to end. And one thing about it, as it is written, it shall come to pass. That's where we at right now. A lot of things is happening right before our eyes. You're going to have to have faith, you know what I'm saying, in what you have believed in. Let's go here to Hebrews. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 11. Hebrews chapter 11. And start up at the top at verse 1. Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 1, it said, now faith is the substance of things hoped for and evidence of things not seen. So one thing about it, you're going to have to have faith, you know what I'm saying, blind faith. You know what I'm saying? This the Lord told what is his name, Thomas, doubting Thomas. He told him before he left, he told him that, you know what I'm saying, he said, blessed is them that believe and have not seen. So you got to have that blind faith of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. You know what I'm saying? When these things come upon us, when you see these war drums are constantly being, we seeing that America is going to be totally attacked, Russia and China, and also the what you call the EU, the NATO. We seeing that they're slowly turning against America and also against Israel. So we seeing right now that these allies are coming together. We knowing about the BRIC nations. So a lot of people right now, these countries are leaving America. They're leaving this. They are the petrodollar, the U.S. dollar, and they're going dealing with their own currency, what you call the Chinese yuan. You know what I'm saying? So they starting their own currency. So they constantly cutting America off, and that's going to cause a ripple effect throughout the economy. And also we know that's going to cause a global reset. And also we know what's happening in the Straits of Hormuz over there in the Persian Gulf, which in fact is the Middle East. We know that that's going to cause an economic collapse if they don't open the Straits of Hormuz back up. So we constantly seeing these things are happening left and right, one thing behind another. So these things are right here. So you got to have faith. You know what I'm saying? We got to believe. You know what I'm saying? When these things come upon us, we know that the Lord will deliver us. You know what I'm saying? That time of trouble. That wind is kind of high. Make sure it don't blow over. So that's where we at right now. So let's read this once again. In NLT said, faith is the confidence that what we hope for will actually happen. So it gives us assurance about things we cannot see. So it said, blessed is him that believe, but he cannot, that hadn't even seen it. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have that blind faith. When these things come upon us, we're here, man. These things are at the door. You know what I'm saying? That's what we constantly warning you about. So now let's go here. We're gonna get this disclaimer. We'll start this disclaimer, then we'll start a few videos. Let's get this disclaimer right quick. This one here is a copyright disclaimer under this section of 107 of the Copyright of Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purpose such as criticism, comments, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is the use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, and or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. And we go right here.
6. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
So now, we got that out of the way. So now let's go here to the first video. I got a video I want to show. Then we're going to get a few precepts on that. Let's get this one first by Scott Ritter.
Could you put a percentage on the chance of this actually happening, the good news that you just gave us?
100%. And the reason why I'm saying that is that nothing's ever 100%. I shouldn't have said that, but I'm very confident. And the reason why is this Strait of Hormuz thing is going to spin out of control. Trump can only lie so many times. You saw what happened when the Iranians first shut it down. We saw Brent spike to $115 a barrel. Then Trump came out and lied, and it brought it down to 81. But now the fact is, the U.S. Navy said we can't escort ships. And we said, we'll blow up all their mines. Well, they don't use ships to mine them. Nobody's sailing through the strait, and no one's going to be sailing through the strait. And the United States can threaten to bomb and bomb and bomb, but we know that the bombing's not doing anything.
Won't start this over again. Hold on. It started over again.
Could you put a percentage on the chance of this actually happening?
Wind blowing, Shalaki for that, and the noise.
100%. And the reason why I'm saying that is that nothing's ever 100%. I shouldn't have said that, but I'm very confident. And the reason why is this Strait of Hormuz thing is going to spin out of control. Trump can only lie so many times. You saw what happened when the Iranians first shut it down. We saw Brent spike to $115 a barrel. Then Trump came out and lied, and it brought it down to 81. But now the fact is, the U.S. Navy said we can't escort ships. And we said, we'll blow up all their mines. Well, they don't use ships to mine them. Nobody's sailing through the strait, and no one's going to be sailing through the strait. And the United States can threaten to bomb and bomb and bomb, but we know that the bombing's not doing anything because all we're doing is blowing up empty buildings. And there's going to be a crunch in a week's time. You're going to see the global energy market go, there's no solution here. There is no alternative. We've got nothing. And prices are going to go crazy. When the Americans start paying, because, right here, already my gas price is over $3.50. It was $3.11 on Monday. It's already gone up. I anticipate by the end of next week, we're probably going to be looking at, gas in the $4.25 range, and it'll keep climbing. It'll go insanely high because there now will be a global energy crisis. Diesel. The diesel's the big driver. Where are we going to get diesel from? And if we don't have diesel, the trucks don't drive. And if trucks don't drive, vegetables don't get to market. And now we have a food issue. We have a supply issue. Walmart shelves are empty. And the American people aren't going to put up with this. They're just not going to put up with this, especially from a president who promised peace and delivered war. So Trump is going to be desperate for a solution. He's already desperate for a solution. He's already making phone calls. He called Vladimir Putin. Putin didn't call him. He called Vladimir Putin because Trump is in a bind. And again, the key takeaway from this is that Dmitriev's meeting with Witkoff right now. That is a huge thing because that means that the United States is desperate for a deal. Desperate for a deal. And Dmitriev is the economic guy. He's not the diplomat. He's the economic guy. He's the guy that talks about lifting sanctions, getting So
we're gonna stop it right there. It's kind of long, it's kind of lengthy. But we're seeing right now that if you hadn't heard in the news, we're seeing that DJ Donald Trump had lifted the sanction on Russia so they can start selling Russia oil because of the conflict that's going on in the Straits of Hormuz. So right now we're seeing that things gonna get very critical. So now he's trying to ally with Russia. We already know they was heavily sanctioned, but we're seeing right now that these things gonna get worse and worse. We're seeing that dreadful sound is in his ear. As I put out a lesson yesterday. So he's seeing right now that it ain't easy what he thought it was gonna be. He thought he was gonna go over there in Iran and just take over their regime just like he did in Venezuela. But we know that Iran is a different type of beast. You already know that these what it says in second Ezra chapter 15, whereby they're gonna get the upper hand. These Arabs, these Muslims, and these Islamic nations, they're gonna come together, against Israel and also America. The least of the flock. So we seeing right now that he's up against, he's backed up in the corner right now. He needs some help. So he's trying to end this war, but it's not going to end. And also the leader of Iran already had said that they're not going to stop till they totally decimate Israel. Those small hatters. Which in fact is Amalek. The least of the flock should draw them out. So now let's go here. Let's get a couple of precepts. Let's go here to Job chapter. Then we go back to the videos. Let's go here to Job chapter 20. Let's go to Job chapter 20. We'll start up around verse 22. Job chapter 20 and verse. Tell you what, we'll start up at verse 5. Then we'll drop down. Let's get this here because there's a lot of good meat here. Let's go here. It said Job chapter 20 and verse 5 said that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. So that's exactly what we're seeing. We're seeing the end of this man's reign. We're seeing now that, a lot of these nations right now, they're seeing that America has a weak leader, seeing that America, infrastructure is weak, seeing that their military infrastructure also is weak. They already know right now that, they're just for the picking. They're not going to win this war. It's already been prophesied. Let's read it once again. Job chapter 20, verse 5, it says, the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Verse 6, though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head is reaches unto the clouds. So right now, you know, this man is what? In the fullness of his sufficiency right now. He's the most proud, but the Lord's getting ready to bring him down. Verse 6 said, verse 7, it said, yet he shall perish from forever. His own dung, they which have seen him shall say, where is he? They're coming upon that time where this man is going to be, you know what I'm saying, trodden down. This man is going to be cast down, and also he's going to be put into slavery. Verse 8 said, he shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision in the night. So we coming upon that time where this man is getting ready to be totally eradicated. This man is getting ready to be totally destroyed. You know, we seeing it right now that he already destroyed his eyes over those bases over there in that Gulf, the Persian Gulf. You know, Iran and hit all those bases where, you know, he cannot even set up. You don't even have eyes over there, radar detection, all that. So right now, you know, we're seeing that dark forecast that they're saying that a lot of Americans, soldiers, have been unalive over there. You know, also they're saying that they are losing this war. You know what I'm saying? So he's getting ready to, you know, feel the effects of this. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it, you know, because what? He has spoiled many nations. Now he's getting ready to be spoiled. Let's go over here. You know, he has dealt very treacherously. He has done what? Great things. And he's getting ready, you know, he's getting ready to pay. That's why the Lord is constantly what? Gathering the nation for the consequence of Zion. You know what I'm saying? Keep your eyes on the Middle East. Keep your eyes on Israel. We're seeing right now that this war is in full effect. And one thing about it, we're at the point of no return. World War III has begun. Verse 20. Job chapter 20 and verse 22, it says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. You know, so we're exactly what we're seeing. You know what I'm saying? Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. And then when you go into that word straits, it goes into what? Levels of adversity. You know, he's going to run into trouble. You know, so right now he's running all type of trouble. He thought maybe that, we seen that DJ Donald Trump was saying that this war was going to be over within weeks. Now it's indefinitely. You know what I'm saying? We already know that it's not going to end until the Lord come back and return and take all these nations and these militaries down. So the Lord's going to meet them in the valley of Jehoshaphat when you go to Ezekiel chapter 38. You know, so we're seeing that the Ezekiel chapter 38 war is lining up. And also we knowing that Russia is going to be a guard to these nations. So we're seeing right now, Russia is already giving Iran intel, you know what I'm saying, like helping them with these tactical drones. Also they give them intel where their American military bases at. And also China is constantly helping them out too. So the kings of the East, you know, they're going to join into this war very soon. So it's going to get bigger and bigger. So it's going to be the war of all wars, the last and final war before the great and glorious return of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. So let's read this once again. It says, Job chapter 20 and verse 22 says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, right now he's in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. So right now he's in strait. And also there's already rumors that Netanyahu, you know, was unalive. You know, this man, he hit them first while they was in negotiation, trying to come to some type of agreement, but he went on and bonded them while they were still in negotiation. So now they saying that he's been killed. So we're gonna see how that fan out. Has not been confirmed, but we seeing right now that, you know, hey, these things are right now it's happening. He gonna be in strait. He said every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. So we seeing all his allies slowly turning against him. What is Saudi Arabia? They saying that Saudi Arabia saying that America has abandoned them. You know what I'm saying? When the war broke out, they abandoned them and gave all their attention to these Israelis. You know, so we seeing how this thing is lining up. You know, so these things are happening right before our eyes. Verse 23, it said, when he is about to fill his belly, the Almighty shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So right now, we seeing he's setting it up. You know, he's trying to crash this economy over here so he can bring forth this new digital infrastructure whereby it's going to be total surveillance, you know, surveillance under the skin, dealing with your biometric, you know, wave your hand, face recognition, eye retina scan. See, we already know that they have the technology that's already in the place. These lying wonders, what you call that Neuralink. You know, a lot of people that was paralyzed, they said it'll make them walk again. people that is blind, it'll make them see again. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about these, what you call these counterfeit wonders, lies, and deception. This is man that's getting ready to come with. So we already know that the technology is already in place. So we see it right now. He's getting ready to fill his belly. So when you go into that word belly, it goes into his agenda, his plan that he's getting ready to bring forth, which in fact is that NWO. That's where we at right now. Total control. One word currency, one word government, also one word religion. That's exactly where we at right now. That's what this man is trying to bring forth. Let's read this once again. It's in verse 23. It said, when he is about to fill his belly, the Almighty shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So right here, you know, when you go into that word, the Lord said cast a rain upon him, it's talking about these IBCM missiles, these thermonuclear missiles, you know, that going to be launched throughout the world very soon, and they're not going to miss their mark. This place is going to become a lake of fire. America is going to be totally destroyed. That's what we constantly warn you about. You know, left and right. You know what I'm saying? There will be no inhabitant left here. If you love it here, you're getting ready to die here. Even though we're seeing sunshine today, everyone is going on with their daily life, but all hell is getting ready to break loose. Verse 24, it said, he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. You know what I'm saying? It's talking about those IBCM missiles. You know what I'm saying? That glittering sword. It shall strike him through. That's coming. So we know that at some point, we're seeing right now that America is losing this war in the Middle East or the Levant area. We're seeing that they're losing the war. You know what he's going to resort to. You know, when you go to Revelation chapter 6, verse 4, he's going to use that sword. You know what I'm saying? Which in fact is his military, his technology. You already knowing that things is going to go nuclear very soon. Verse 25 says, it is drawn and cometh out of the body. Yea, the glittering sword cometh out of the gall. Terrors are upon him. So this is describing a IBCM missile, you know, coming up out of those, what you call these silos, when they, you know, when they are launched, you know, when they give them the order to launch it, which in fact the Lord is going to be guiding these missiles to hit their mark throughout the world. You know what I'm saying? We know that Israel is going to be it's going to be nuked, but it's going to be rebuilt back up. America will be totally destroyed with these IBCM missiles, these warheads. You know what I'm saying? That nuclear fire that is coming very soon. So this is describing these missiles coming out of these silos. Verse 26 says, so all darkness shall be hid in his secret place. So a fire not blown shall consume him. So it shall go ill in with him that is left in his tabernacle. So it's getting ready to go very ill with him. We're seeing that right now, that the tables are turning. We're seeing right now that Iran and also these other nations are coming together against Israel and America. We're seeing it right now. They shall burn the whore. Verse 27, it says, the heavens shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. So that's exactly what we're seeing right now. You know, the heavens shall reveal his iniquity. So we see it right now, you know, he's making Esau bare. Shameful spirit is upon his glory. You know, that dreadful sound is in his ear. You see it right now that he's at the end of his reign. He's got to go. The Lord is getting ready to cut off a long disease, sin, and also the modern day so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of. He's getting ready to cut his ass off. You know what I'm saying? Very soon. That's what we're seeing. It says here, it said the whole earth shall rise up against him. So we're seeing right now, no one want to have anything to do with America. We're seeing that China and Russia and these BRIC nations are coming together against the West, and also Israel. They're starting their own currency. We know we get ready to go back to the gold standard. You know, we already know that this paper money is getting ready to be obsolete. It's already worthless. They shall throw their silver and gold into the street. That's where we at right now, you know. So we're in that what you call a transition of power. Let's get verse 28. It says that the increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath. So we're in that transition of power. You know, we see, you know, these riches was got by deceits and unrighteousness. The Lord's getting ready to turn it to the rightful owners. You know, so Esau is the end of this earth age right now. What we see right now, we're seeing that we're at the end of an age. The whole world is not going to end just this age. We get ready to go into the kingdom of heaven that dwells in righteousness. When you go to Matthew chapter 16, when you read the Lord's Prayer, the kingdom to come, as it is in heaven, so shall it be on earth. So that's exactly what's getting ready to come. The Lord's getting ready to return and set up that righteous kingdom. That's where we at right now, and we constantly rejoicing. You know what I'm saying? So we got these things are right before our eyes. Let's go here to Shalom to everyone on the coming board. Can't hardly see everyone on the coming board. Got a lot of sunlight right now. Shalom to Zakar Kassad, and they got Ramya. Shalom to you, brother. Shalom Brakatha. And I can't see that other one right there, but I'm gonna go on the comment board in a little bit. But we see that we're here. Let's go to Obadiah, because we're seeing that these nations right now, they are in confederates against America and also Israel, and also the least of the flock should draw them out. Let's go here to Obadiah chapter 1. Obadiah chapter 1, and we'll start up at verse 1. We're gonna skip around a little bit. It says here, said a vision of Obadiah, thus said the Lord power, concerning Edom. Said, we have heard a rumor from the Lord, said, an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. And those ambassadors are the prophets. The men in the highways and the byways making these video pistols left and right, constantly warning you left and right about these pending dangers. What's going on, man? All right. It says in verse 2, it said, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, and it said, thou art greatly despised. So who is he made small among the heathen? It's talking about Esau Edom, starting with these small headers, the ish peoples. You know, the one is saying that they are Jews but are not. You know what I'm saying? That's who they are greatly despised right now. It says here, verse 3 said, the pride of thy heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts in the rocks, whose habitation is high, that says in his heart, who shall bring me down, said to the ground. So right now we're seeing that his inward thought that his house will what? That he will rule forever. But guess what? He's in for a rude awakening. The Lord's getting ready to bring this man down. He's getting ready to cast him down. The Lord's getting ready to take this man out of rulership and put this man into slavery where he belongs. This man has destroyed the earth, you know, the air, the water, the food. You know what I'm saying? The people, you know what I'm saying? The people around right now, you know, walking around all sorts of type of disease. You know what I'm saying? Because this man using all sorts of chemicals and different things that he's putting in the atmosphere. Chemtrails, all sorts of things that this wicked devil is doing. But the Lord's getting ready to bring it to a close. You know what I'm saying? So he said that dwellers in the cliffs of the rocks. You know what I'm saying? When you go back to where this man came from, he go all the way back to Edom, to what you call Mount Seir. You know what I'm saying? He was in the cliffs and the rocks of the mount, which in fact are those caves too, also in Georgia, Russia. This man is the original caveman, the original cave man, and the original cave woman. You know, so you know, as he getting ready to go back to his natural habitat. You know what I'm saying? The Lord placed this man into power. You know, the earth was given into the hands of the wicked, but only for a short time. Verse 4 said, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, said through thou, let's read it once again. Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 4, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, this will I bring thee down, says the Lord. So we already know that this red devil has what you call a space force. You know what I'm saying? That he's going to use when the Lord returns. He's going to try to fight the Lord. You know what I'm saying? He got all type of satellites, different type of technology in the ozone layer. You know what I'm saying? But the Lord, when he comes, he's going to destroy all of that. You know what I'm saying? It says here, he said, exalt thyself as the eagle. So that's his symbol when you go back to the Roman Empire. You know what I'm saying? We're in the second leg of the Roman Empire. You know what I'm saying? So we're in America, which in fact is America is called spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. So we're in our second bondage right now. The Lord's getting ready to come to deliver us with great glory and great power. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people right now are beginning to see these signs of the time. They're right before our eyes. So now let's go back and get this other video. We already run the disclaimer. Let's get this one right here. It's going to tell you about their plan and how they're going to try to reset everything. Let's get this one right quick.
The entire point of Trump's office is to collapse the petrodollar, to destroy the
Hold on. Once again, let me start it up. There we go.
The entire point of Trump's second term in office is to collapse the petrodollar, to destroy the American economy as we know it, to make way for the rebirth that he's planning. It's the Great Reset. It's Build Back Better, except it's done under Trump in the name of nationalism. It was always the plan. It was always scheduled to happen. You're just using Trump to do it. They don't want the traditional system anymore. You're saying capitalism is the great evil. They don't care about capitalism. They want feudalism. And so they are willing to destroy everything in order to have their technocratic, neo-feudalist, high-technology slavery system. So he is doing, under the name of nationalism, what Biden and everyone else was supposed to do in the name of globalism. You understand? That's what Iran is really about.
So we stop it right there. So you see it right now. You see what it was saying, that how his second term, what it was all about. Let me stop this right quick. So, the collapse, what I'm saying, this economy bring forth this new digital infrastructure. What I'm saying? It's inward thought that he shall rule forever. So that's what he's trying to do, to make you a petrol slave. The charagma, what I'm saying, this grain of rice, this surveillance under the skin. They already have these things already into place. That's why we constantly warn you about left and right. So we know that things are going to go digital very soon. Maybe before July. We already know that it's already here. They've already been warning people about that things are going to go digital. They're already telling you about a digital ID. They're telling you about that real ID. That's just a precursor what's to come. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it, you're going to come with this RFD microchip, which in fact is the mark of the beast, where they can have you under total surveillance, watching you 24/7. You will not be able to buy or sell without having this surveillance under the skin. So when they start this new system, you know what I'm saying, if you don't want to be partakers of it, that's why they're going to have these, what you call these guillotines. You know what I'm saying? Either you take it or accept it, or you will be unalive. So we coming upon this side. That's Revelation chapter 2 and verse 10. So we know we are very close. So let's go to Psalm chapter 49. It's inward thoughts that he shall rule forever. That's what he's trying to do. This man don't want to give up the power seat. That's why the Lord got to return. We're gonna go to Genesis chapter 27 about the blessing. Isaac, which in fact in the reincarnation was Yahweh Shai, our Lord and Savior. You know what I'm saying? So he's gonna return and take that blessing from him. You know what I'm saying? He's the only one who can do it. But this man is built up. He's very prideful. He has this technology. He has his military. You know what I'm saying? All this weaponry. You know what I'm saying? And we ain't gonna be able to deal with it. The Lord's gonna have to come and return. Let's go here. The Lord's gonna have to lift up a standard, a way for us to escape that hedge of protection, which in fact is, spiritual power. Let's go here to Psalm chapter 49. Psalm chapter 49 and verse 11 said, their inward thoughts is that their houses shall continue forever. And their dwelling places said to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. So we already know, America, it was named after this Italian explorer. I think his name was Amerigo, Ciprico, Americo, something like Amerigo, Ciprico, something like that. And Africa was named after Africanus Ciprico, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, they named their lands the ones that they conquered. You know what I'm saying? What they call colonization. They came over here, they stole everything and everybody. Now we're at the point now they're trying to keep to extend their rulership. You know what I'm saying? With this new plan that they're trying to put into place, which in fact is this NWO, this new world order, one world currency, one world religion, one world government. That's where we at right now. So we know that all these nations are in bed with it. That's why they're trying to crash the economy. That's why we're seeing what's going on over there in the Middle East with the Straits of Hormuz. You know what I'm saying? So that's a major choke point. A lot of major oil is going out through that region, the Persian Gulf. We're going to get that in a minute too. Joel chapter 2 and verse 20. We're seeing right now that's the point where we're at. And also Ezekiel chapter 38. We're seeing that this is lining up. So we're seeing now that DJ Donald Trump said he's getting ready to deploy 5,000 Marines to the Middle East. You know what I'm saying? To the Levant area. So we're going to see how this goes. Because once they go on the ground, we already know that El Saber is going to come up. So his inward thought is that he shall rule forever. So this right here is about a birthright and about an inheritance. You You know what I'm saying? But we already know that Esau gave up his birthright. Let's go to Genesis chapter 27. Let's get this right quick. Because, you know what I'm saying, we in that time now where he's going to come out his brother Jacob, which in fact is Israel, the Negroes, the Latinos, the Native Indians. You know what I'm saying? The chosen people of the Bible, you know. Let's see here, Genesis chapter 27. Let's see what I want to drop down to. Genesis chapter 27. We'll start up around verse 30. We'll start up around verse 38. Tongue is about dried out. We get a few more when we get out of here. See, this is what this is all about right here. See here, let's start. Let me see where all them start up at. Let's see. Start up at verse 38. It says, and Esau, Genesis chapter 27 and verse 38, it says, and Esau said unto his father, say, had thou but one blessing, my father, bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. Verse 39, it said, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. So, you know, we know right now, this man has conquered all the fatness of the earth. And that dew goes into what? His blessing. So we pretty much know, you know, everywhere you go, the so-called white man, he got pretty much all the best land, the best real estate across the world, because what the earth was given into his hand. And also that is his blessing. So, you know, he's living in the best parts of the world right now. And it also is called colonization. You know what I'm saying? He colonized everything. You know what I'm saying? Let's see this verse. I hope I'm saying that right. Got a little tongue tied. Verse 40 said, it said, and by thy sword shall thou live, and thou shalt serve thy brother, saying, it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. So right now it said, by thy sword. So this man right now, that's his blessing. What? His military, his technology. That sword goes into all sorts of what? Weaponry. You know what I'm saying? So when you see a so-called white man, he always got a gun. He got a knife. He got some type of a weapon on it, because that is his blessing. You know what I'm saying? The Lord blessed him with that. You know, that's how he conquered the entire world. When you go back to First Maccabees chapter, I think it's around verse 3, when Alexander started with Alexander the Greek. You know what I'm saying? It started with him, you know, and then when he died, those generals, they separated his kingdom. You know, they took, you know, all of them got a part in, and then evils was multiplied. So that lines up perfectly with Job chapter 9 and verse 24. The earth was given into the hands of the wicked, but only for what? A short season. So we're in that short season. So let's read that once again. So that's what he's living by. He's living by that sword. So we already know that this man, you know, he got a bloody history whereby, you know, all he did was rob, steal, kill, and destroy. You know what I'm saying? Raped and murder. You know what I'm saying? Everything that he got, he stole it. You know what I'm saying? So he's getting ready, you know what I'm saying? He's getting ready to pay for all those the atrocity that he has done. You know what I'm saying? You know, he put us in slavery. You know what I'm saying? All these different things. But the Lord called these things to happen, but we almost at the end of this nightmare. Verse 41, it says, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. It said, and Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand, and I will slay my brother Jacob. So that's where we at right now. That's going to line up perfectly with Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 10. We'll get that in a minute. So we see it right now with the time where this devil is getting ready to come down with great wrath upon the so-called children of Israel. It's called Jacob's trouble. We will be the most in trouble. And also, he's going to be in trouble also too. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to escape the hands of the Lord. So it really is going to basically be judgment from him and also the tutor. So right now we at that point where he's getting ready to come down with great wrath. He's getting ready to use that sword, his military, his technology, his pseudoscience. That's where we at right now. Let's go to Obadiah chapter 1. Let's go to Obadiah chapter 1. Obadiah chapter 1. Let's get a little bit more of that. The Lord's getting ready to judge his day. Let's go here. Obadiah chapter 1. And, you know what I'm saying, the Lord's getting ready to bring forth that recompense and judgment like we had never seen before. I think I'm going to bring out one more video. We're gonna go to the comment board. Let's see where we at. We're going to go to the comment board, too, and get a lot of them. Yeah, that's it. Amerigo Foreseeth. Yeah, that's it. I had it mixed up. The water for that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's right. You know, he was an Italian explorer he didn't discover them, but that's what they named America after Amerigo Vespucci. That's right. Another one was Africana Scipio that named Africa. You know what I'm saying? They named themselves. You know, they named their lands after themselves. So that's spot on with this red devil. It's the water for that. It says here. So let's go back to it. So now he get ready to rise up and try to slay his brother Jacob. But the Lord said this right here in Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 10. It said, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. So right now we're at the point where the Lord's getting ready to repay these red devils for all the atrocity and for the consequence of Zion. So the Lord is constantly visiting the earth that he created. That's why we're seeing all these things that's going on in the world right now. The Lord is making inquisition. We're seeing right now that, you know, these prophecies are speaking loud and clear. These are the days of vengeance. You know, as it is written, it shall come to pass. You know, whether people believe it or not, you know what I'm saying? That's where we're at right now. You know, we're almost at the end of this nightmare. We're at the end of an age. So let's go here to 1 Peter. Let's go to 1 Peter chapter 4. 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 7. It says here, 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 7 said, but the end of all things is at hand, but ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer. So right now, you know, so we know that we're at the end of an age. We're at the end of an earth age. We're at the end of this temporal world. You know what I'm saying? So Lord is getting ready to usher in the kingdom of heaven that dwells in righteousness. That's our rest. So that's where we at right now, you know. So that's why we're seeing these things are happening right before our wars upon us. World War III. Also, we know I think we're coming upon this digital infrastructure, and also Jacob trouble, a time of trouble that we've never seen before. So now let's go here back to the videos. Let's get one more video, then we'll probably get to the comment board and read a couple of them, then we'll close out. Let's go here to let's get this one here about this. Let's see which one I want to get. Let's get this one right here. One moment. Let's get this one here.
Congratulations, Iran won.
Hold on.
The war is over. I'm going to explain. Congratulations,
there you go.
Iran won the war. The war is over. I'm going to explain to you. U.S. bombs Iran's oil export hub, raising pressure over strait. So basically, Donald Trump, the stupid Donald Trump, bombed this island, this little island that has oil. This is basically Iran's major oil terminal, but they have also a navy or an army here. So what Trump did is that he bombed the army, but he didn't bomb the oil terminals and the refineries. And the reason he didn't do it is because he was telling the Iranian government that if you don't reopen the Strait of Hormuz, I'm going to bomb your oil terminals. What is Iran going to do when Donald Trump bombs the oil terminal in Kharj, this island, Kharj Island? What's going to happen is that Iran is going to bomb the oil terminals of GCC countries, Iraq, Kuwait, Bahrain, UAE, Oman, and Saudi Arabia, 6 countries. And Iran can do it in less than 3 days. I would say in 1 day, actually. And this is where not even a nuclear bomb can help United States. Even if they nuke Iran, it's not going to help United States. It's not going to help Europe. Europe is going to collapse. So will the United States, economically speaking, because it's going to take at least 6 months to 2 years to rebuild those oil terminals. If you think shutting down the Strait of Hormuz is bad, wait until Iran bombs the oil terminals. And Arabs, the reason Arab countries are not with... So what's going to happen is that...
We're going to stop it right there.
Iran is going to bomb the oil terminals.
We want to go too long.
At least 6 months.
We'll stop that. So let's go here to Joel chapter 2. You know, so we already know right there they already sent 5,000 troops over there into the over there in the Gulf, Persian Gulf area, the Middle East, the Levant area. So let's go here, right here, and then we're going to go to the comic book, and then we'll probably close out. Let's go here to Joel chapter 2. Let's get this right quick. I wanted to go to Ezekiel chapter 38, but we know that eventually that Russia is going to be a god to these nations. You know, so you're seeing that right now in the news. That's what's been happening right now. Let's go here to Joel chapter 2. We go straight to the point, verse 20. Joel chapter 2 and verse 20. And it says here, I will remove far off from you the northern army. So we're seeing right now, talking about American military, you know what I'm saying? You know, we already know that they sent 5,000 Marines over there, but we know that eventually, you know what I'm saying, a lower portion of their army is going to go over there. It says here, he said, and I will drive them into a land barren, saying desolate. It's talking about the Middle East, the Levant area, the Saudi Arabia. It said, and his face towards the EC. Right now, you know, his face is toward the EC. That's talking about the Persian Gulf, the Straits of Hormuz. He's over there right now. He says, and his hinder part, his backside towards the utmost sea, which in fact is the Red Sea. You know, so we already know they got warships over there in the Red Sea. You know, Russia, China, Iran, Iraq, different ones is over there right now fighting with these Houthis rebel over there in Yemen. And then it says here, it said, and his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he has done great things. So we already know that America has done great things, you know, and also Israel, you know what I'm saying, they already destroyed what you call the Gaza Strip, you know what I'm saying, they bombed the hell out of a lot of these different nations. And also we already know they did with Venezuela leader. They went down there and just took this man's country straight away from him, kidnapped him and his wife. So you see it right there, he has done great things. Now, you know, when they go down there, they're going to be totally destroyed. It's going to line up perfectly with 2 chapter 15, you know, so I thought start up around verse 29 or 30, you know what I'm saying? They're going to get the upper hand. So we know at some point that these Saudis, these Arabs, these Russia and China, the kings of the East, they're all going to join together against Israel and also America. We know that Israel will be totally nuked. So let's read this once again. It says here, Joel chapter 2 and verse 20 said, but I will remove far off from the northern army, said, but I will remove far off from you the northern army. It's talking about American military, you know what I'm saying, all different branches, you know, talking about the Army, the Navy, the Marines, the Air Force, and so forth. And saying, I will drive them into a land barren and desolate. It's talking about the Middle East, the Levant area, the Saudi Arabia, and his face towards the EC, talking about the Persian Gulf. So we're seeing how things is picking up over in the Persian Gulf. We're seeing that Iran has bombed a lot of their bases on the other side of the Gulf. You know, we know that Iran is on the other side. They control the Straits of Hormuz, that major choke point, and that all this oil and different resources that's coming through. And it says his hinder part towards the EC. That means that his back gonna be towards the Red Sea. And also we already know that they're already down there right now. And it says here once again, and his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he has done great things. So the Lord is getting ready to judge this man. So we already know once America go over there in this Middle East and send his military over there, this is just the beginning. He's going to be totally destroyed over there. America and also Israel, and also they're going to come over here and bring those nukes over here. So we're very close. So it's already rumors that, you know, they are going to all kind of terror attacks, drone attacks. Already was a rumor about drones that was on this. Iran's going to send drones over there in the west coast of California. And also it was a rumor that it was a sighting of these drones that was in New Jersey. So, you know, so we know right now that it's going to come to our own backyard very soon. The Lord already said in, I think it was in Jeremiah chapter 51, I think around verse 14, he said he will fill Babylon with men like caterpillars. So this place is going to be full of the enemy. You know, these what you call these sleeper cells. You know what I'm saying? They are getting ready to be activated. There's already rumors that they had activated their sleeper cell. And also we know that ICE is already here. We know that the Marines is already here. So the stage is set. All things are ready. So now Let's go into the comment board before we close out. Let's go into the comment board. Let's get here to the comment board, see what we got on the comment board. Can't hardly see for this sun, but we're going to go. We get a few off the comment board and we're going to close out. But we seeing right now that the prudent man, what, foreseeth the evil, and hides himself, what, in his wisdom, his knowledge, his understanding. Let me see here. Let's see what we got here. See, can I get to it? I'm trying to see this live. See, can I open it up? Let me see. Let's go back in. Trying to see, can I pull up this comment board? See, can I pull it up? Here it is right here. See what we got. See here. Let's go at the top here. We got shalom to CJ. Shalom to you. Shalom. Yahweh Shema Abishai Brakatah. Shalom to Zagar Kasad. Shalom to you, brother. Brakatah. Shalom to Aramya. You know, shalom to you, brother, also. That's what else we got here. Okay, we'll start here. See what Aramya got. Brakatah, the water for the precept. Says here, says shalom. Okay. Got here Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 25. Said the Lord has opened his armory and has brought forth the weapon of his indignation. He said, for this is the work of the Lord power of hosts. Said in the land of Chaldeans. That's right. You're exactly right. That's right. That's right. It said verse 29. It says here, you know, so he's opened up his army, you know, so the Lord is getting ready, you know, let these other nations, you know, they're getting ready to come into that Levant area. You know, we're seeing Ezekiel chapter 38 wars lining up, that in the nation going to the Lord righteous anger. So the Lord is what is gathering the nation for the controversy of Zion. When you go to Joel chapter 3, and also the aftermath of that is Ezekiel chapter 39. Let's go here, the same brother, Aramya, got here Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 30 he said, therefore, shall her young men fall in the streets, and all her men of war shall be cut off, said in that day, says the Lord. That's exactly right. Verse 31, same brother, he said, behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud, said the Lord power of hosts, for thy day is come, said the time that I will visit thee. So that's exactly what the Lord is doing. The Lord is visiting the earth that he created. We already know that America will be destroyed in 1 hour. Thy judgment comes with these IBCM missiles. So we know that at some point when America and Israel, which in fact they got their backs up against the wall, we know they're gonna resort to that sword, that IBCM missile. But it's gonna be all through the spirit and the power of Yahweh. Let's get a little bit more about the same brother, Yeremiah. He's got here, said, flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of Dedan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him. That's right, you know, so the least of the flock should draw them out. That's where we at right now. Let's see, I missed one part. Okay, but yeah, let's drop down to verse 16. It says, Revelation chapter 16 and verse 15 said, behold, said, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watches and keepeth his garment, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. So one thing about it said, blessed is he that keepeth his garments, talking about this wisdom, this knowledge, and his understanding. You know what I'm saying? You know, that it would be a stronghold in times of trouble. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we got to hold on to. The Lord lets hold fast what you have. You know, wisdom and knowledge should be what the stipend of the time. And one thing about it, you know, you don't want to be found naked, you know, without. You know what I'm saying? The truth there, you know, they're naked. You know what I'm saying? Which in fact, they don't have faith. They don't have works. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it, they're going to be totally destroyed. You know, they are not going to have what you call a hedge of protection. You know, we will, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully that we'll have that hedge of protection and that we're part of the hopefully elect. See what we got here now. Same brother, verse 16, Revelation chapter 16 and verse 16. And say, and he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. That's exactly right. That's what the Lord doing. It's called, I think it's called the multitude, and multitude is called something troops. the gathering of truth. I can't remember exactly what it's on the top of my head. It might come back to me. It says here multitudes of troops or something like that on that level. But anyway, we know that he's going to meet them in that valley. You know what I'm saying? The Saudi Arabia. It said Revelation chapter 16 and verse 17. It said, and the seventh angel poured out his vial into the air, and there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven, said from the throne, saying, it is done. Verse 19, it said, and the great city was divided in three parts. Said, and the city of the nation fell, and great Babylon came in remembrance before the Lord to give unto her the cup of wine of the fierceness of his wrath. And everybody is talking about it, describing of what great thermonuclear exchange. You know what I'm saying? That, you know what I'm saying? Thermonuclear war. You know what I'm saying? Those IBCM missiles. You know what I'm saying? That the Lord is going to bring forth. You know, America is going to be totally destroyed with this nuclear fire. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be so many warheads that's going to hit America. It's going to turn into a lake of fire. So there will be no inhabited left here. So that's what we constantly warn you about. I think that's all the one I'm going to get off of this stuff. But the water for everyone about these for these priests, Ramya, man, Shalom for joining me on this live and with everything like that, and hoping that the Lord be with us. We seeing that we're very close. See how we looking on time. I think I went over an hour. So we're gonna close out right there. Exceedingly great. That's right. You know what I'm saying, man? We're so very close. We're seeing now that these prophecies are speaking loud and clear. We're seeing right now we're almost at the end of this nightmare. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing the things are fast approaching. You know what I'm saying? And man, I'm telling you, we're here. Let's get one more before we close out. Let's go here to let's go ahead to Romans chapter. Let's get one more in Romans chapter 13 and 11. We'll close out here. Romans chapter 13. Let's get this one here. We'll close out. Tongue about dried out. Romans chapter 13 and let's get verse 11. We'll close out right here. We probably read it all. Might as well. Romans chapter 13 and verse 11. It says, and that knowing the time, that now it is high time to wake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believe. So now we're seeing now it's very urgent that we'll wake out of sleep and come under this total rejection to Yahweh. Ba'ashim Abishai, this wisdom and knowledge shall sustain us in times of trouble. So we are very close to our great deliverance. You know what I'm saying? At the end of this man wicked queen. Verse 12, it said, the night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness and let us put on the armor of light. You know what I'm saying? That's what we need to be doing right now. You know, casting off, you know what I'm saying, the works of darkness and putting on the armor of light, which in fact is this wisdom and knowledge, this gospel. You know what I'm saying? There will be a stronghold, a safe haven in times of trouble. You know what I'm saying? That's where we at right now. That's what we got to be putting on, you know, get our house in order. Let go of the martyr thought. You know what I'm saying? Gird up your loins. Verse 13. So let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting, in drunkenness, not in chattering and wantonness, not in strife and envy. You know, examine yourself, get your house in order. Verse 14 says, but put ye on the Lord Yahweh Shah Mashiach, and make not provision for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof. So that's where we at right now. You know, it's the time to get yourself together. Get your house in order. Because, you know, we get ready to come into greatness very soon. So we're seeing a lot of UFO sightings. We're seeing a lot of prophecies right now speaking loud and clear. Things are constantly increasing. We're seeing that the men of the Lord is in the highways and byways. And also we know that the famine of the word is fast approaching. We know that a great persecution is coming. We know that many sorrow, great death and destruction. You know, that's where we at right now. But we know that through much tribulation, we shall enter the kingdom of heaven. So World War III has begun. We know that we read upon Jacob's trouble. We know we had upon the implementation of this RFD microchip. Let's get that right quick. Show you that chip. You know, it says here, Revelation chapter 13, show you that mark right quick. See that mark right here? Do not take that chip. That's where we at now. That's what all road leads to right there. You know what I'm saying? And who we're talking to right here is these one on this chart right, this 12 tribe chart. So that's where we at right now. So we are very close, you know what I'm saying, to that implementation. You know, we will not be able to buy or sell not having that, you know what I'm saying, being a part of this system, you know, this new digital infrastructure. So that's where we at right now. And you know, we got to constantly trust and believe in Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua. We know that the Lord is going to do the rest. So we seeing that Bible prophecies are speaking loud and clear. The end is being manifested right before our eyes. So I'm going to face the east. I like to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Rikakwadash. And double honors to those great millstone, while that is true. And also to the Ophilet that is scattered abroad. I like to say Shalom, DTA, Abba, Kwam Yasharala, Shalom.